Simula't sa pool ay malayo na nga ang narating ng Department of Science and Technology sa pagpapalaganap ng siyensya. Maraming programa at pagtitipon na ang tinanghal sa buong bansa. Pero hindi humihinto ang ahensya kung science for the people lang naman ang pag-uusapan. Sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon, napili ang Davao para buksan ang 2018 Mindanao National Science and Technology Week. Totoong maraming programa ang nakaangkla sa listahan ng DOST at kabilang dito ang Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program o SETUP 2.0, Bangon Marawi Human Resource Development Program at Balik Scientist Program. Mula sa SMX Davao Convention Center, tara na't alamin ang mga istorya ng pagbangon, oportunidad na nagbukas sa siyensya at high technology innovations sa kapuluan ng Mindanao. Tara na't kami samahan sa programang hatid sa inyo ay bagong kaalaman sa agham at siyensya. Tutok na sa DOSTv Science for the People. Alamin naman natin ngayon ang mga ginawang paghahanda at preparasyon para sa NSTW dito sa Mindanao. Makakasama po natin, Regional Director of DOST 11, Dr. Anthony Sales. Magandang araw, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Jel. Well, we had a lot of preparations for this event. It's a major event, and you can just imagine the activities we had prior to the holding of the National Science and Technology Week celebration. Yes. And one of the preparations we had to do was to coordinate with the presidential management staff. No, alam nyo, maraming security measures that we have to put in place for the arrival of the president. And even during the preparations, no, we had to discuss with them, with PMS, the protocols that we have to follow. Particularly in the setting up of the physical arrangements and protocols in arranging the different seats for the VIPs, where the president should sit, where the visitors should be seated, yes. No? So, napakalaking trabaho ito. And especially during the conduct of the event itself, no? We had to be very particular about security, and we had to be constantly in communication with the PMS.
So gaano katagal yung paghahanda natin, sir? Of course, alam natin talagang ang ganda ng kalalabasan. Of course, kasama natin ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas, hindi ba?
Well, it took us a lot of time to prepare, to really plan the activity. We were told that we will conduct the National Science and Technology Week celebration, at least the opening of the National Science and Technology Week celebration, I think 2 months ago. No, we had to request, we had to communicate with the Office of the President, yes, and get his confirmation. And once we had his confirmation, we had to plan out all the activities that we had to do before, during, and after the event.
Hindi ba mahirap hingin yung kanyang approval?
Well, it's good that the Secretary Fortunato de la Peña was able to talk to the President already in China when they went there, in Boao, China, when they attended the international forum. So the Secretary de la Peña already asked the President if he can grace the NSTW. And he also asked Mayor Sara Zimmerman Duterte to also grace the event to welcome our participants to NSTW.
Alright. Paano naman nakatulong, sir? Of course, andyan ang katuwa natin ng mga provincial directors and offices.
They were a very big help to us, particularly in the preparations. Our provincial science and technology centers and the staff were instrumental, no, in preparing all the documents, all the exhibits, no. All the exhibits were coming from them, so we had to coordinate with them closely. And particularly with our setup beneficiaries, our PSTCs are in close contact with them, so they know exactly what are the products, what commodities we can exhibit in the NSTW.
At marami tayong mga inilahad na programa dito na nakapaloob during the event. Marami tayong inilahad na mga successful stories, and we have the scholars and other staff pa with regards to DOST.
That's right. As highlights of the NSTW celebration, we launched the Setup 2.0. Setup is the banner program of the DOST regional offices. It stands for Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program. And we launched the 2.0 version. No? This time, as compared to the original version, we want to make our micro, small, and medium enterprises smarter. What do we mean by smarter? S is socially relevant. No? What we're trying to address is the triple bottom line. No? While we work for economic benefits, we should also pursue, no, benefits for society, benefits for the environment. So we want our MSMEs to be resilient in times of disaster. So we have to look into the structure of the buildings that they use for production, processing, and manufacturing, and see how they can be resilient to disasters and hazards in the environment.
Pero ano yung nakikita nating challenge with this Setup 2.0?
Well, as usual, the challenge is really lobbying for more budget, no, from the national government. But we're happy that the budget for Setup has been increasing in the last several years. We're now at the level of 800 million annual budget for Setup, and we hope that will increase further. I was told earlier by Secretary Fortunato de la Peña that we were able to get a portion of the PCARD funds, GIA funds, for Setup. No? So that would increase the budget for Setup 2.0 by at least 50% for next year. And I think that would be a big help already. On the average, we're providing around 1 million pesos per project, per SME. So by 2019, we should be able to add another 50% to our setup cooperators.
Lalo ngayon, sir, syempre, di ba, ang dami nang nakakaalam ng setup at ang dami nang nakikipag-ugnayan dito sa DOSTV kung paano sila makakapag-avail nito.
Alam mo, Jel, we're quite happy with the statistics that we have after 15 years of implementation of setup. No, we already invested over 4 billion pesos for the program, and we saw a big improvement in productivity of our MSMEs, in the number of jobs generated, as well as the type of products they're producing. They're quite competitive, no? Not only in the local but also in the export market, because many of our cooperators, we call them cooperators, Gel, not anymore beneficiaries, because if you look at the investments that they provide, along with the investments that the DOST provide for our setup projects, mas malaki yung dihamak yung binibigay nila. So it's really a partnership between government and the private sector.
So aside from this, tell us more about the Bangon Marawi project.
We're quite proud about that program, itong Bangon Marawi program, Human Resource Development Program, because this is our contribution, the contribution of the department to really rehabilitating and bringing back on its feet Marawi after the siege. No? So we thought that it's important that our students, our faculty are able to go back to school and pursue their studies. So we provided this a package of assistance for both faculty and students, no, in terms, particularly in terms of scholarship, so that they can finish their degrees, no, both undergrad and graduate studies.
And then marami na tayong mga existing scholars, di ba, sir?
Yes, more than 200 scholars. We have, I think, around 270 scholars in both undergrad and graduate levels.
At nakakatuwa, nung ipinresent, may mga talagang with highest honors, cum laude, magna cum laude.
That's right, that's right. No, malaki talagang naitulong even with the traumatic experience that they had during the siege. They were able to, to stand up and get back on their daily lives, get on with their daily lives.
So yun na may bibigyan nating assistance sa kanila. Pagdating sa livelihood, meron ba nakalinyang proyekto?
Well, with Marawi, the culture of people in Marawi is they are basically traders, no? Buy and sell, no? So what we thought is that around the periphery of Marawi, there are areas that can be cultivated for different agricultural commodities that they can sell, no? So the plan is really provide sustainable livelihoods for the people around Marawi. And this can be the same people that are residing within the city. They can till the lands around the city and sell the commodities that they produce within the city and even outside the city.
Alright. And isa din po sa mga highlight ng ating event ngayon ay yung ating mga balik scientist.
Yes, that's something that we are also very proud of. Filipinos coming back to our country to help us in our development efforts, no? And yesterday we presented around 10 or 15 of them who are engaged now in various projects, both short-term and long-term projects. Some to train our researchers here in the Philippines, some to develop new R&D projects, and some to mentor, no, our researchers, especially the budding researchers, no, so that we create a critical mass of young scientists, young researchers that will take on the challenge of generating research results that can be used for development.
So kwento niyo naman sa amin, sir, of course, itong Balik Scientist Act na naipasa na. Ano-ano nakapaloob dito, sir?
Well, we have more incentives for our balik scientists. As mentioned yesterday, we'll be providing them round-trip airfare when they come back to the Philippines and when they go back to their respective stations abroad, no? And there are even funds allocated for the relocation because some of them will be engaged in long-term projects. So we need to provide the funds for them to relocate back to the Philippines. And we are negotiating with the host institutions for them to provide the maintenance and operating expenses for our scientists, no? And this will be used when they conduct the researches and other activities that they will conduct in the country.
Pero karamihan sa kanila, long-term or short-term?
Well, many of them started with short-term just to, to feel the experience of being back after a very long time abroad, no? So they started with short-term engagements, and then many of them moved on to longer-term engagements.
Of course, marami tayong pangangailangan dito, sir. At kailangan natin itong mga scientists na to na kung tutuusin talagang mas makakatulong dito sa Pilipinas instead na nasa ibang bansa sila at napapakinabangan ng mga banyaga, hindi ba, sir? Pero tila pa rin parang may kulang pa rin pagdating sa pagpo-provide ng pangangailangan nga nila. Compare doon nasa ibang bansa sila, maayos ang pamumuhay nila, syempre yung iba nga green card holder na daw at hindi nila mag-give up yon.
Well, I'm still hopeful that our researchers abroad have that patriotic spirit, no, to really help our fellow Filipinos here in the country. And many of them, I'm sure, have that kind of spirit. Na even with with less incentives or less commensurate incentives for their expertise, they will still come back, no? But what's important is that with the new law, we can already provide the funds that they can use to build their own laboratories here in the country, and the funds for R&D projects. And I think that's bottom line is that's what they're after, no? That they can continue to apply what they have learned abroad and apply it here in the country to help with development efforts.
So meron tayong tema ngayon sa ating ginagawang National Science and Technology Week. Of course, creating innovation and an innovation ecosystem. Meron ba tayong mga future partners pa para maisakatuparan itong mga nakalatag nating proyekto?
I'm glad you asked that question because here in Mindanao, I think we are the first cluster in the country that really initiated the creation or the development of STI ecosystems, science, technology, innovation ecosystems. It's important that we link all our RDIs, research and development institutions in Mindanao, and I'm referring to our higher education institutions doing research, along with the government agencies, local government units, civil society organizations, and the private sector. It's important that we get all the perspectives of all these sectors when we plan, when we conceptualize, when we implement R&D programs. That's what we call STI ecosystem. It's not just HEIs, it's not just RDIs, but the whole society. It's a whole of society approach that brings together all stakeholders so that all perspectives are taken into consideration, working towards a common goal, working towards sustainability of research and development, of techno-transfer activities, commercialization up to commercialization, and monitoring and evaluation whether these activities, these R&D activities really accrue to the benefit of society.
At ngayon, sir, bahagi na rin natin doon sa ating mga taga-subaybay. Of course, meron tayong mga exhibit dito na binisita rin ng ating Pangulo. So, ano yung mga nasabi niya ba?
Alam mo, Jel, I was quite happy yesterday when we were touring around. I had the opportunity to go with the President along with the Secretary. And these are the things that, piqued his interest. One was the vertical halophyte filter technology.
Okay.
This is a locally developed technology. We developed it with a Dutch expert. Actually, this technology has been used for several years now in the Netherlands and other parts of Europe. But the conditions there are different from what we have here in the Philippines. So we had to customize the technology to fit the requirements here in the Philippines. Requirements of households, requirements of small and medium enterprises in the country. We had to customize the technology, and we're quite happy that the President was quite interested with the technology.
Yes.
He said that, I think we should apply this in other islands, no? He said we can use this in Boracay to clean up Boracay because the large resorts can have their own water treatment facilities, but the small ones, the households, need this technology so that when we dispose of the effluents, the wastewater, back to the river, back to the sea, they are already clean using the technology. So that's one. The second one, Jel, was the drone technology. The unmanned aerial vehicle. Sabi ng presidente, tanong niya kay Dr. Sese, who's leading our space program, that this can be used by the military, no? This can be used by the military. And one thing good about this is that it's locally developed by our very own scientists, and I think much cheaper than what is commercially available, no? Commercially sold in the market. And so he asked about how much the prototype was, no? So I think he was quite satisfied with the amount, no? With the amount, no? Maybe he compared it with what the prototypes that we get from outside the country. Then the other technology that he was interested in was GeoSafe for Mindanao, no? And it was good that they were able to show an app, no, where they can pinpoint the house of the president here in Davao.
Alright.
here in Davao. So
So may map
the-
nakita nila.
there was really
Uh-huh.
Duterte's house, no?
Uh-huh.
So the president asked whether it was susceptible to earthquakes, no? And the answer was it's quite far away. The fault is quite far away from your
Oh,
house,
that's
around
good.
4.5 kilometers. So the president said maybe I'll just go to my other house, just so he can get away from the earthquake. No, so it was fun and it was I think much appreciated by the president.
So
The exhibits that we had.
Yeah, so in general, kamusta yung assessment natin?
Alam mo, when I I accompanied the secretary to the airport today, this afternoon, he said, to my estimation, it was a very successful event. And I was quite happy with that statement. And I saw for myself that DOST was in full force. The whole family was in full force. And I'm very thankful to all of our agencies, agency heads, our staff, for really supporting the activity. After all, this is just one family. After all, this is an activity of the OST, and we should be proud of it, having the Philippines with us during the celebration of the National Science and Technology Week.
Ayun, and using these technologies and innovation, maging handa yung communities, of course, maging resilient pa rin tayo, lalo na kung may mga disaster.
That's right. Resilience does not only mean resilience to disasters, but economic resilience. No, so that's what we're working for. These technologies are meant to make our communities, our individuals, Filipinos, our families resilient to all types of hazards and to all types of disasters.
So during this 3-day event, so marami tayong nakalatag na programa. Nasa second day pa lang tayo, sir.
Nasa second day pa lang
So yung
tayo.
third day natin, ano mga activities?
On the third day, we're happy to inform you that we have five establishments to be visited tomorrow in our project visits, and these are Aponilola, Malagos Chocolate, including the museum, Chocolate Museum. I think the only chocolate museum, if I'm not mistaken, the chocolate museum in the country. And then we'll also be visiting one vertical halophyte filter facility, the very first prototype of the technology here in Davao and in the Philippines. And the other two are also set up cooperators.
So marami na dito sa region na to, naging mas matagumpay pa sa tulong ng Department of Science and Technology.
Marami na in Davao. I think we account for about 5 to 10% of the total establishments that were assisted under setup, no. And alam mo, malaking tulong ito, Jel, to our national budget, because we are actually remitting about 2 to 3 million per month, no, in refunds from setup cooperators, no. So if you compute that in a year, maybe 100 million or 50 million per region per year, no. So you can just compute how much we are remitting, how much money we are plowing back to the national treasury, so that we can help more micro, small, and medium enterprises.
Alright, at ngayon po, nandito kami sa Mindanao, sineselebrate natin ang National Science and Technology Week. Pero pagdating sa Manila, ano po yung mga dapat nating asahan naman with
From Mindanao.
yes.
From Mindanao, we will be bringing some of the technologies like the vertical halophyte filter, the GeoSafer Mindanao. GeoSafer these are geoinformatics technologies for assessment of flood risk and hazards, no. We will also be bringing some of our setup beneficiaries. Marami dito ang very successful na, and I think many would be interested on how we can avail of setup interventions from the OST.
Huling mensahe po dun sa ating mga taga-subaybay, at siguro imbitahan na rin natin sila to come and join us sa NSTW sa World Trade Center sa Manila.
Yes, please help us in promoting the technologies and services of the Department of Science and Technology. Lahat ho itong mga serbisyo ng DOST, mga interventions ay makakatulong sa inyong mga negosyo. It can help in other aspects of your daily lives. And we hope that you can also join us in the celebration of the National Science and Technology Week in Manila, no? And please feel free to go to our offices, inquire about what S&T interventions we can provide. It's so easy to just visit our offices, and we can discuss how we can help you, how we can help bring science to the people.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations po
Thank
sa
you so much.
matagumpay
Thank
na
you so
pagtitipon
much.
na ito.
And thank you for your support.
Thank you. Always, sir. Dito kami.
Okay.
Maraming salamat po nakasama natin, Regional Director of DOST 11, Dr. Anthony Sales.
Missed an episode? Want to try Pinoy recipe? Or check today's weather? Or perhaps just be amazed at events, people, and places of science, technology, and innovation. Get them all here via the DOSTv app. Just download the app and you'll see the shows anytime, anywhere. Don't be left behind. Be updated and watch DOSTv. DOSTv app. Now available on Google Play.
Magandang umaga para man sa ating weather update ngayong araw ng Lunes, July 16, 2018. Sa kasalukuyan, patuloy pa rin pong nakakaapekto itong ating habagat o southwest monsoon dito nga sa kanlurang bahagi ng ating bansa. Samantala, ang ating mga binabantayang tropical depression na si Henry, huling namataan sa layong 440 kilometers silangan ng Apare, Cagayan. Ang nasabing bagyo may taglay na lakas na hangin umabot naman sa 55 kilometers per hour malapit sa gitna at may mga pagbugso naman na umaabot sa 65 kilometers per hour. Patuloy po itong kumikilos sa direksyon naman na pakanluran sa bilis naman na 35 kilometers per hour. At para sa magiging track ng ating bagyo, kung patuloy po ito at hindi magbabago ang kanyang kilos at galaw, ay posible namang lumabas ng Philippine Area of Responsibility bukas po. At inaasahan po nga na tatawid ang ating bagyo dito po sa Babuyan at Group of Island. Kaya't meron tayong nakataas na signal number 1, dito po yan sa Batanes, sa Babuyan Group of Island, hilagang bahagi po ng Cagayan, hilagang bahagi ng Apayao at hilagang bahagi po ng Ilocos Norte. Kaya ang nasabi mga lugar, patuloy pong makakaranas ng mga pag-ulan at may mga pagbugso ng hangin. Para naman sa magiging lagay natin panahon sa araw na to, dahil nga po sa ating bagyo doon sa dulong hilagang Luzon, nasabi ko na po, meron tayong mga pag-ulan na may mga pagbugso ng hangin. Samantalang sa epekto naman po ng ating habagat, dito po sa Metro Manila, gayon na rin po sa probinsya ng Zambales, Bataan, Cavite at Batangas, gayon na rin po dito sa Mindoro at Palawan, patuloy pa rin po tayong makakaranas ng mga pag-ulan na dulot ng ating habagat. Samantalang sa nalalawing bahagi po naman ng Luzon, magkakaroon po tayo ng mga kalat-kalat na mga pag-ulan at mga pagkidlat, pagkulog. Dito naman po sa Kabisayaan, sa kanlurang Kabisayaan po, dahil epekto pa rin ng ating habagat, magkakaroon pa rin tayo po ng mga pag-ulan na dulot ng ating habagat. Sa nalalawing bahagi po ng Kabisayaan, asahan pa rin ang maaliwalas na panahon na may posibilidad pa rin ng mga isolated thunderstorms. Sa Mindanao naman, sa buong Mindanao, magiging maayos po ang ating panahon. Magkakaroon lamang po tayo ng mga isolated thunderstorms. Ang mga temperatura po natin dito sa Kabisayaan, sa Iloilo, 24 to 30, Tacloban, 24 to 32, at sa Metro Cebu, 25 to 32. Samantalang dito naman po sa temperatura natin sa Mindanao, Zamboanga, 24 to 32, Cagayan de Oro, 23 to 32, at Metro Davao, 25 to 32 degrees Celsius. At sa ating mga mangingisda po, gumagamit ng maliliit na sakyang pandagat, wala po tayong nakataas na gale warning sa kasalukuyan. Kaya lamang iba yung ingat pa rin ang ating paalala sa ating mga mangingisda dahil po ang ating karagatan dito po sa Hilaga, Kanluran at silangang baybaying dagat po ng Luzon ay magiging katamtaman hanggang sa Maalon. At silipin naman natin na magiging lagay natin panahon sa susunod na 3 araw. Dito po sa Metro Manila, patuloy nating mararanasan mga kalat-kalat na mga pag-ulan at mga thunderstorms. Temperatura po natin 24 to 30 degrees Celsius. Dito naman sa Baguio City, susunod na 2 araw, kalat-kalat na mga pag-ulan pa rin at mga thunderstorms ang ating inaasahan. Ating temperatura 16 to 23. Pagdating po ng Thursday, magiging maaliwalas ang ating panahon, mga isolated thunderstorm lamang ating inaasahan. Temperatura po natin 17 to 23 degrees Celsius. At dito po naman sa Legazpi City, bukas, maulang panahon pa rin ang ating inaasahan. Temperatura po natin 25 to 31 degrees Celsius. Sa susunod na 2 araw, Wednesday at Thursday, magiging maaliwalas ang ating panahon na may isolated thunderstorms. Temperatura po natin 25 to 33 degrees Celsius. Samantalang sa Metro Cebu, sa susunod na 3 araw, maaliwalas na panahon na may isolated thunderstorms. Temperatura po natin, 25 to 32 degrees Celsius. At sa Metro Davao, pangkalatang maaliwalas na panahon, sa susunod na 3 araw, mga isolated thunderstorm lamang po ang ating inaasahan. Temperatura po natin, 25 to 33 degrees Celsius. At ang ating araw po kanina ay sumikat sa ganap na 5:35 ng umaga at muli po itong lulubog sa ganap naman na 6:29 ng hapon. At yan po ang latest mula dito sa Broadcasting Center ng Pag-asa DOST, ang inyong naging tagapag-ulat, Meno Mendoza.
DOSTv would like to thank Filipino Creazione de Mano Incorporated. Visit their showroom at ground floor lobby, PSMBFI Building, 318 Santolan Road, West Crame, San Juan City. SciDev, the world's leading source of reliable and authoritative news, views, and analysis on information about science and technology for global development. Visit their website at www.scidev.net.
Tunay na ang temang Innovation for Collective Prosperity ay patuloy na isinasapuso at isinasagawa ng Department of Science and Technology para sa bayan. Nakita nating hindi pa huhuli ang value creation, disaster-resilient communities, maging mga renewable energy sa pagpasok sa sektor ng agham sa tulong ng DOST, lalong nabubuksan ang mga pagkakataon at pagbabagong kaakibat ng mga proyektong para sa bawat mamamayan. Maraming salamat sa muli ninyong pagtutok sa nag-iisang programa ng siyensya at teknolohiya. Ako po si Jel Miranda at ito po ang DOSTv Science for the People.